Hey guys, Todd from Great Escape Farms here. Today I'm doing a video on some of the winter prep work I do on the pool here. So usually it's not a whole lot, I just drain a little bit of water off, but I have a separate video. I'll link to that in the show notes as far as how to winterize a pool. But once it's winterized, there is a little bit of winter maintenance that needs to be done. So, and I'm gonna do some of that here today. So you'll notice I have some water in it. I'm gonna drain the water off. I've had the far end there as well as this end right here slip in, and I had to move some. What I mean by slip in is the cover was slipping into the pool itself. It got pulled in because some of my weights on the top here had some issues. So I rearranged, pulled the cover on when it was cold out and just to rearrange and hold it up. But today I need to fill up and add some more of the weights on. So I have one here just to show you what happened. You'll notice the corner is gone and there's these little holes in it. So I had a squirrel just chew the corner off of this, and the other one for some reason lost water. And then another one, it has these little, let me show you, these little freeze plugs on them, and it had a freeze plug on it, and I closed the freeze plug. I got it where it was supposed to be, and I stepped on it, and when I did that, it was so cold it was brittle. It broke the plastic in half. So that was stupidity on my part. So don't do stupid things when plastic is frozen. So what I'm going to do is I have all my hoses put away, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the water off the top here. I actually have a pump, and I'll show you that in a minute, connected to a hose, and this is an old junk hose that I leave out. I leave it drained, but I just leave it out. I'm not worried about if it gets holes in it or anything. I only use it for the pool here, but it will have a little bit of pressure, and I'll take the water off the top and fill these little blue things up. I always keep a couple spares. So let me show you what I have here. So this is a pump that I have here, and you can get these from Home Depot or Lowe's or some hardware store. And the guy who sold me this house 20 years ago, this is actually his setup. So it's just a regular pump. Let me see if I can get you a view of that there. And then he took an old pool skimmer and he just kind of tied some wire to it to hold the skimmer on. That keeps it from getting clogged up with everything. And then he put some fittings on, and I changed the fittings last year over to be a hose. He used to have this white thing that came all the way out, and he actually had a T on it. I can't do that with one finger or one hand, but he had a T on it which actually held it up level here, and that was cool because it does have a tendency to kind of flop over like that, which isn't that big a deal. It just won't let you get down as low. But anyhow, what I do is I put this in, and I need to do a little bit of fix up on my basket here. I'm falling out. And push it in, and it weights itself down there and gets underwater. And then you'll notice I have a plug for it. So I plug it in, and I only have to let it run for about a minute because the hose runs downhill here, and it's a gradual downhill. I don't know if you can even see it in the video here, but it runs all the way over to where my propagation bed is and just kind of dumps off in the back. And because it's down below where the actual pump itself is, it creates a siphon. So at that point I can go ahead and disconnect and leave it, just leave it in, and it will drain overnight without running power. The reason I like that is because in the past I've left this plugged in, I walk away for a while because it takes a couple hours, and I forget about it, and I come out the next day and it's still running. So I haven't burned up the motor yet, but that's a quick way to burn up a motor, is just to leave it running with no water going through it. So you also notice that there's a number of leaves in here. I leave those in to help weight the pool down and keep everything in the center, and it also helps break up the ice that's on there. So I don't want a great big chunk of ice in here to expand and push out the edges and cause all kinds of issues with the liners and break things up. So that's part of what the pillow is for here, is to break the water up, just so ice, if it forms, when it expands, it'll just crack in here. But the leaves also help with that. So I'll leave that in until probably March or April, probably closer to April, and then I'll pull those out. Freezes will be pretty much done with at that point. And the actual pool itself will be, I will uncover that in May time frame. I could do it earlier, but the reason I wait until May is all of these things right here are oak trees, and oak trees have this nasty yellow pollen followed by these little, we call them squiggly things, these little brown things about as big around as my pinky there, and tens of thousands of those things fall, and it just clogs up pool filters and everything else. So I leave the pool cover on until those things fall, and then I take it off. As well, I do have a video on how to uncover the pool, so I'll go ahead and link to that in the show notes at the bottom as well. So sorry for the windy, long-winded version of this winter maintenance here, but that's it for now. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much and have a great day.